kills consistently, T side, CT side. Now, admittedly, I will also say he also looks way better with a rifle. So there is that to consider.
Yeah, I think there's still a lot more to come, right? Gonna have to hold the point, though, because it is a quick rush in towards this B bomb site from forZe on this T side, starting off on this T side of things. Big nade coming in. sAw as well, able to find one. Just will go down pretty quickly. The flash is sound, but he's not able to find another head. Mutiris through the smoke. Oh my goodness, the craziness. It seems to continue. Still those low HP players. The headshots are slight overkill, but looking pretty good here for the CT side. I'm going to say there's a kit dropped by sAw, but all the same, moving in together, I don't even think they're going to left onto Jerry. Kit recovered. There you go. And now Jerry has it all to do. No armor and not landing his shots. No bullets left. Will get taken down by Rome. sAw back to their old tricks with the clean pistols.
And, you know, Roman gets the added benefit of keeping his armor alive. So you don't have to spend too much money going into the next one, which is quite nice. You can have a better rifle buy, which is very important because forZe is likely to go for the double AK, maybe even full Galil round over. Oh, no, they are buying. Never mind. For a second, I thought they weren't, and I got really excited because like they definitely have enough money for utility plus Galils. That's how ridiculous this is.
Yeah. Could be the Krieg, you know? Could be worse.
It's true. It's true. It could be worse. It could be back to the R8 when it was released. It doesn't mean that's a metric of measurement.
Back. Yeah, okay. All right. I'm just saying, my outlook on life could always be worse.
We could be playing Valorant, that's true.
Oh. Hot damn. I mean... Yeah, you're not wrong, to be honest. Never really resonated with me.
Yeah.
CS is best.
That's
and
true.
forZe are looking to prove that within this matchup, they're the best at it. Now, that is a very, very pigeonholed, you know, triangle through the circle kind of segue, but all the same, to bring it back to the game, I think we're starting to lose the plot a little bit. So, you know, I'm feeling for forZe after such a long day. No matter how much you love playing this game, they've played so very much. Doesn't really affect them on the previous map. Maybe now the fatigue starts to get in. I will again, you know, set that up. It might not. They are professionals, but you never know. A few missed shots here and there. We're very, very quickly into this game. I think that's kind of off the back of them, right? Bear in mind, they're a couple hours ahead of where we are currently. Either way, just finding the first. Big damage as well coming on towards Flip. I think that's going to make all the difference. Going into this post plant, another kill from the MP9 of sAw. This is not looking good at all.
And forZe aren't even going to be able to get the bomb plant down this time. They've lost everyone, and they've gotten nothing out of this round. So suddenly, you're not just looking at, oh, hey, this is a 2-0, maybe a 3-0. You're looking at a very difficult round that's going to be coming up later on because CTs keep 3 rifles alive. They prevent the bomb plant. And now you can potentially... Honestly, you can even just have USPs on sAw and Mutiris. This is a play that a lot of teams don't go for. But I think there's definitely space in the meta to experiment with just pistol buys when you know that the enemy team is going to have no armor or close to no armor, especially with the way the CT economy is just, you know, pretty bad.
It's something that you see in pugs from time to time, interestingly enough, where like an AWP will just stick on the USP. They know that there's nothing coming and go for those headshots. Nice little double nade. Maybe... see that reappear. Certainly scrambling the eggs of forZe for sure. Not looking too good. They were hoping for some long-range deagle shots, but not going to happen. 5-on-3, straight out of the gate. I think sAw looking pretty good. And another clean headshot from Just as well. The 4-1 setup, harkening back to old Inferno. Once again, see whether that makes an appearance. I mean, if they find early nade kills and deep smokes like this, you never know. They might indeed opt to play a more heavy A kind of style. But right now, a throwaway round, not getting caught off guard by the pistols. We have seen... Oh, I'm really sorry. That's the caster's curse coming into play. I'm really sorry, Roman. I think it's all good, but literally Okay, right after I
Script, I
said
think
the
you need to stop
Deagles.
talking at this point. Genuinely, I'm telling you,
Take over, take over.
Zorda just coming out with a 1 versus 3 Deagle clutch at this point. 30 seconds, and there you go. I brought it back to you, Script. There you go. But
Yeah.
not insignificant, and that's the important point, which is they didn't just say, "Oh, we'll buy USPs or we'll keep our USPs," or something. They said we'll actually go full rifles because that's how worried they are that forZe might force buy again. Because that's the only real justification you can have, or you're that confident you can save all 5 players, which is again very unlikely, very very unlikely. Even now, forZe, despite buying the Eagles in the previous round, they've still actually got a little bit of money on Kenzie. They've got just a bit of money on Jerry as well. So it's not like you were ever going to be in a position where the T side doesn't at least buy the Eagles. So important to keep in mind. Now, however, big question is, how do sAw adjust to the fact that they've given up full banana control and full apartments control, and they don't have any sight lines down mid?
For Stadodo, got to be careful playing with fire a little bit. They're opting not to follow those traces. Here we go, though. The burst in towards the B-bomb site. Looking good. Oh, my goodness. Jerry making quick work of just all onto Stadodo with his trusty Galil. Gonna back away from the site. Let it go to the post plant. Oh, and flit through the smoke. Drops Mutiris. That is filthy. I think that might just be the round off the back of it as well. Yeah, that's kind of a... Oh, okay. Well, I guess there's not much we can do about this one. They're on another level right now.
Stadodo...
And Flit just spins around. Yeah.
Stadodo dropped his Galil because he thought he'd be able to recover the fallen M4 from his teammate, where Flit was able to get an immediate kill. And then he comes out and he sees, oh no, there's a guy pushed through the smoke in front of me. He then gets taken down because he doesn't have a weapon. And his teammate, who was saying, oh no, there's a guy pushing in front of the smoke for you. Let me cover for you because you don't have a weapon. Then he dies too. So sAw, instead of being able to save 3 players, they're just dying. I think is the technical word. Oh my god, dude, that was insane. That was such a nice shot from Jerry.
Yeah, some of these rounds, man, like both teams, to be fair, have had some really nice shots. Rough buy here. They're going to go for it, but not really ideal. That's to be expected with the position that they're in. I do like the idea of keeping the pressure on. You do have to even the economy out. Not going to have enough to buy in the next round with the loss bonus. Anyway, I think they'd maybe be able to get like M4s and stuff out, but no real utility to speak of. So opting to go for it in this one. How does that change the approach? Ooh, chunky nade. Certainly not the best we've seen, but definitely a good one. Flash coming over the top as well. Yeah, there goes the top of banana. Pressure from the CT side. So, minute and 15 left. forZe have done a bit of damage, gained a bit of control, but playing very, very slow here.
Good timing of the smoke down mid, though. I have to say, this is actually facilitating an A-side stack very effectively, but the issue is always going to be for sAw, if they keep playing this the way they did in the previous round as well. This round is fine because you have pistols, you need to go for some sort of gamble, but how many times can you give up full banana, full apartments, full mid control in a round before you, in a game before you figure out that, yeah, this just doesn't work for us? Just does at least have an M4. So as the flashbang comes out, he peeks through, only good for 1, and he's revealed his position, but he makes it 2 more. Stadodo gets the kills with the Molotovs, and Kenzie and Flit now all on their lonesome, and that is a beautifully executed round from sAw over there with the re-rotate back. Flit in a 1 versus 4, good for 1, but no more. There's 20 seconds, and he has to save. Scriv, that Molotov combination with the flashbang, that is beautiful. I don't know if that's planned, but if it is, ooh, that's gorgeous. Can we see a replay of that in slow motion, actually?
Hopefully, if the powers that be are listening. But yeah, it's really, really well done. Always deadly, right? You know, when there's so much utility coming in.
Burn, baby, burn.
Yeah, I think it's just they're forced to fight him.
Yep.
and they're in the molly, it just works out very well. Obviously, if he gets clapped by that first player, then it's no harm, no foul. They take a bit of fire damage. But the fact that Just stays alive, you know, it all comes together nicely. Love it when a plan together, of course. And now from the T side, kenSea maybe jumping the gun a little bit, has only got an AK available, unless I've missed him use all his utility in the first 10 seconds of the round. I feel like Flick could have dropped him and enabled him a stronger buy. Certainly going to have an effect, to be honest. You'd say, oh, if you're missing a flash or a HE, it's not the end of the world, but having no utility at all is really not what you want. Nice little off angle from Roman to catch Flit off guard. That'll give sAw the upper hand into another important rifle round.
Roman, the poor guy's been holding that exact angle for 3 rounds now. Finally, someone actually comes his way. So fortunate for him. But yeah, important kill and just a gain on the B-bomb side. Maybe I'm counting him out too early when I said in the pregame I don't think he'll have the same 30 frag performance, because right now he's so very impactful whenever they actually make their way over to that B-bomb site. Now, though, rotate might have been called to the wrong direction. forZe have a chance to get onto this site, but there's not that much time or utility to work with.
It's a nice crossfire as well, to be honest. Really working well off of each other. Arky able to stay alive. Actually picks up a frag. Roman goes down in towards Pit, but surely the time bought. 1 versus 4. Nice little flick from zAw. Does have the bomb. Ooh, a risky cross. And unfortunately, with the bomb plant, it allows the gap to close, and he can't get his gun up fast enough. But he was screwed. There was 1 behind him. There was 2 in front of him. I don't think he makes it out of there alive, even if he had got, you know, the half-second faster plant or whatever. Regardless, into the 5th round for sAw. Looking very, very good here, tea time. It is once again that super strong start from the Portuguese majority, of course. Arky being, I suppose, an honorary Portuguese-man. Yeah. Sometimes in the UK we call them Portuguesers. I think that's kind of funny. But
I feel like you don't want to say that about a team that's already kind of old, so yeah. But anyhow.
No beef. I was just pointing out. Yeah, no, that's not what I meant, by the way.
I know. You know, no harm, no foul. But yeah. Anyhow, forZe still coming through with a half buy. That's going to be very, very impactful at, you know, taking down some of the CT economy. I always appreciate a team that will, at the very least, stretch the CT economy to the limits. Currently, a couple of the teams in the lower end of the top 30 right now still don't quite exploit how weak CT economy can be on maps like Inferno, which are heavily utility reliant in early round utility. But now, keep an eye out on the apartments, because kenSea has been blocked off, but only temporarily. That Molotov does not go deep. kenSea can re-aggress without actually having his position revealed. Roman sees them coming in, gets the first. That's the bomb drop, still in position as Muterus is covering beautifully with a crossfire. Roman can now re-navigate back, and this is a massacre from the CT side.
Worrying stuff. I mean, we've said it before, though. I don't want to put all my chips in just yet, but sAw dominating. How many more pummeling starts can forZe take? They certainly have been through the wars this afternoon and evening. Maybe a little bit of the morning, to be fair, but nonetheless, they are seasoned veterans by this point. Still got to be hard. Ooh, zAw with a nice find onto Stododo. A bit too aggressive. It was some nice bounces to get there, but the angle being held. zAw able to clap him down, and then Arky finding Flit with the double dink. Brings it back into a 4-on-4.
Just is still alive, though, on the B-bomb side, and now he's got himself some cover from Muterus. Unfortunately, no magic flashbang, so going through those smokes will prove to be difficult. Molotovs as well moving over, but they've been cancelled. They messed up their timing. Now, Just is trying to spray through. Will be looking for a kill, but he's moving a bit too much. Otherwise, maybe it would have been more than just the one. Just gets one. And Arky from the sideline wants to be able to move through if the bomb is threatened to be planted. And as it is, Arky comes in, gets one more. And as Jerry was too quick to get into a post-plant situation, he can't assist his teammate. Gets one, sure. But this fight is lost as Arky finishes off with 4.
Seems to continue, doesn't it? The mantle of who will have the strong individual round, whether it's in terms of the frags or just in terms of the macro play, you know, the overall staying alive or the solid utility. How he gets away with it from that kind of position and how the team gets away with it after such an early opener, such a strong early opener, down banana, onto the AWPer, onto one of the strongest players, generally speaking, right? It's not necessarily been the case for this evening, but all the same, forZe, as I keep saying, will be kicking themselves. And I think certainly not to take away from Arky's performance in the round, but there's a good deal of introspection that, at the minute, the T side need to do, but maybe the team in general. It's a difficult one, again, to highlight for folks. Not made a roster move since the 23rd of October, 2018. And the past, what, 4 to 6 weeks, they have been toying with moves and many, many different players joining the squad and helping them out. Some in an official sense, some not. It's very, very hard to tell.
It's sort of like getting out of like a really long-term relationship. You just want to try new things, try new people, and sometimes you go a bit overboard. Hopefully forZe can settle down with someone though sooner rather than later. You hate to see them going down the path that they are sometimes. And right now, well, it looks like they're going down the path of the banana. And with 2 players very firmly footed onto the B-bomb side and one not too far away in the form of Mudras, this might be a very good boost for Just to come through with. Now, they do have 3 Molotovs, so if they're going for a full execute, that might actually not be the best position to be on. But Stadoto's found one. He's a distraction, and Just is the one to come through and close. They're cleaning up the house. They're getting kills, and sure, they lose 2 players. But by the time Flit tries to plant the bomb, there just isn't the time, and Murus moves through the smoke to finish him off. 8th round on the board for sAw.
This is usually the turning point, isn't it, around here when forZe are able to get rounds back on the board. Of course, 10-1 on Nuke. I believe it was like 7-2 on Dust 2.
Something like that.
But all the same, not quite out of the woods just yet for forZe. They have pulled things back from worse scorelines.
Chris, by the way, guys, if you're wondering, Chris is our producer. Chris, can we know if this is a pause from sAw or forZe? I'm quite curious. Okay, so forZe are the ones who have called for this pause. I would say no surprises there, but sAw were the ones who called for a pause earlier when they were up 5-0. So I thought maybe over here they're expecting forZe to come out with something new. Yeah. But I would personally love to see a little bit more aggression from the CT side as well in this particular round. Obviously, forZe on the full buy, forZe with the full utility, but just a bit of a change of pace from the CTs as well goes a long way.
Does feel like they're walking on eggshells at the moment. This is one of those key turning points, generally speaking. Already the half being won in a mathematical sense from sAw.
Wow.
And they are rubbing salt in the wound. A great little boost, a great little shot. Ooh, that one maybe a bit harder to land, but all the same, certainly will counting his lucky stars to be alive right now, can see. How can forZe recover things back? Great little nade goes in. That is huge damage. Actually, again, lucky to not go down to the double nade and the spray backed up by it. Yeah, really, really dancing with death at the moment on the forZe side of things. Oh, okay.
Oh.
The dink through the wood, through the concrete rather, but all the same, very, very strange kind of happenings right now on Inferno.
There are 3 people already on the B-bomb side. One thing sAw have been very good about is rotating people over nicely. Now, Mudras, he's just spraying through the smoke, hoping to find Jerry, and Jerry's hoping to find a gap. with 30 seconds left in a 2 versus 5, hope is something that is dwindling on one side of this coin. And I'll let you be the one to guess which one that is, because Dodo, well, he's about to give us the answer. But he misses a shot. Gensi gets it. Just is not checked, though. And because of it, they've got a good crossfire. And they will... They will? Will
Yeah,
they?
I don't
Will
know,
they?
man,
I don't know about...
surely.
What?
Okay.
Oh.
Jesus. He was just like swiping people, you know what I mean? He ran out with the guy on boost. Maybe it's a comms issue, right? But he ran out with the guy on boost with his back turned. The guy, I think it was Stododo, he kills the first player.
I think. Yeah.
Right. Misses all the shots on Kenzie.
Kenzie doesn't even turn.
Yeah, he just spins around after he hears, you know, this reload behind him, terminates the guy, and then starts. That was wild, honestly. But of course, for the highlight reel, you know, put it in your CV or whatever. But it's not going to have an effect on the game itself. Mutiris, nice little double spray down to open us up into round number 11. Ooh, an Arky to back him up as well.
I can't get over that round. But yeah, Flit and Kenzie now again in the 2 versus 5. I'm not counting anyone out at this point. You know, there's still hope, guys. One way or another. One thing to keep in mind, though, is the fact that this round is, you know, having Saw keep all fighters alive is absolutely massive. And it's just me always the feed a little bit. I'm guessing the issues, right?
Yeah, ever so slightly, but we're here on
Ever
a
so
pause.
slightly. All right, so we should be fine. Hopefully, we should be all be good.
Say a few prayers.
Yeah,
You know.
Not to the god of the
I don't know
sword
why
off this time.
Yeah, I'm running the religion analogy quite hard today. It does feel like there's been a few wild interventions for sure.
It's true.
What do they call it? Deus ex machina, isn't it?
I've
like
genuinely no
movie,
idea, but
believe
now,
it's divine intervention or something like that.
well, there you go. You learn something new every day with Scriv. That's why you call him Harvey Rogers, aka whatever that talk show host name was. I can't even remember at this point. That's how long it's been since I've stopped. James Corden. That's how long it's been since I stopped caring about talk shows, man. Like, the pandemic's just done that to everyone. But we're back into a gun round. Saw have got themselves one more gun round to deal with from forZe. Now, remember, they don't actually have a very good economy, so if they lose any of these next few rounds, forZe has a chance to come back to 3, 4, maybe even 5 rounds, depending on when they get the W. So we'll have to wait to see how it goes. Important round, and they've given up all their utility, but a stack on A at the perfect time. Mutiris gets the first, and Jerry's just locked out.
Pretty important that he goes down. Jerry, though, actually able to fight his way out, dodges the flashbang in towards the site. Arky playing with fire, but creates the room for Roman, at least initially, who's still alive, by the way, in towards Pit. If he gets one more from here, no way! The one tap! Oh my god, the fact that he stays alive, of course, buys that time, allows the rotations to come in, and the final frag picked up by Mutiris, but certainly the hero of that round is Roman, and another situation where forZe will be so frustrated. How does he stay alive? I've dropped down. Why are you guys not swinging from short in time while I'm dropping down? His crosshairs on me. You've got to get that trade. He's up and down, you know, whack-a-mole, and a whack-a-mole that fights back, apparently. It's a really, really, really annoying scenario for sure.
Yeah, so rule of thumb, if your kid's in an arcade and they're playing whack-a-mole and the mold comes out with an AK, run away from that arcade. But now, the important point over here to keep in mind is also Saw is continually getting the correct reads. Even there, they have 4 players on the A bomb side early on, and they just know what forZe is going for. It seems like every time forZe is going towards the B bomb site, Saw is very quick to have it rotate over, to have 3 players there, to have all the appropriate utility there. This time, when they use most of their util early on, they want to stack 4 on A. And by doing so, they make it so archers can't be threatened. Short is a late peek, which allows Roman the time to actually get those 2 kills.
Yeah, it's kind of beautiful how it all works out, really, the nuance of the game. Flit with a risky jump up. Does get taken down. Such a curious one here. They're in 2 mines. Jerry seems to have spent all his money where the rest of the squad not so much. Kenzie through the fire, no one really there to back him up. Arky's able to recorrect his aim, but as you can see from behind, Roman there to pick up the pieces. Nothing too flashy there. It's just simple little bits of movement. And the wood chipper setup, as you were saying on Dust 2 for sure. Jerry, the only one left. And he gets caught off guard. Just going to drop him. 12-1. It seems there is no more gas in the tank. Only just noticed. That's kind of awkward. And another frustrating thing to deal with on the forZe side. They're even killing each other and we're still losing.
I feel like, you know what, Scrib? I feel like that would be great mental warfare. Just imagine this, all right? You know, you're losing, you're trying to rally together the troops, and then all of a sudden, after you lose a round, the other team just goes and kills 4 of their own teammates, just leaves 1 guy left alive. Like, how do you bring them out? Look at this. This is Rome staring into the face of victory. This is Rome sacrificing one of his troops for the greater cause. This is Rome making the ultimate sacrifice. He had to kill Caesar. That's Rome. Why do you think it's called that?
Yeah.
And Arky's the top frag, so even better. The Emperor has fallen. Boom. Shank. There you go.
Yeah. And now they must all band together to fight the true enemy forZe, I suppose.
Not quite how I remember my history, but okay.
Yeah, it depends where you learned it, of course.
Yeah. On HLTV, just like all of us. And now Jerry, moving forward with his MAC-10, chucks out the execute, and it's time for the CETs to rumble.
Interesting kind of approach here that they go in without the smoke. It's just a few flashes over the top. Dodo is caught completely off guard. Roman as well does get traded, but all the same, 4-on-3. forZe looking good. Is this a position that they can work with? One would assume so. The bomb has yet to go down. There we go. Going to get planted. Mutiris not quite able to find it through the smoke. Kenzie does take an awful lot of damage. Arky on the backside falls, and now it is down to the 2-man push from Church. A slight reposition from Mutiris, just finding another into a 2-on-2. These 2 remaining players are also pretty low. Definitely doable. One spot in towards Banana just is so damn low, though, in this 1-on-1. Just gonna go for it. No way this works out. Kenzie surely has to find it, but his crosshair goes to the wrong angle. I don't believe it. Like, how unlucky can you get, man? I mean, forZe, to be fair, it's a great retake from Sword, don't get me wrong, but forZe have just run out of gas and they seemingly cannot win.
I have nothing to say, genuinely. There's no explanation for that round other than sucks to be you, I suppose, from forZe. I mean, look, yeah, that's obviously a bit of a joke. There were definitely things that forZe could have done better. There's definitely ways where, you know, you want to maybe argue that you can keep spraying, you can keep doing this, that. And at the end of the day, it's a 1 versus 1. It's very difficult to know, and sAdodo's got a shot, although not to the dome, so Flit is going to be keeping himself alive for a while. This might be the 3rd op buy we've seen from sAdodo this entire half, by the way. They've been very heavily focused on having full rifles, and it's been paying off for them. But now the AWP brought through, hey, maybe we see some of that fancy dance in action, but just has gone down in the meanwhile.
Yeah, I'm curious to know why. I think there is definitely something a bit more internally right now. Key fight for Arky to win. He does go down immediately after the fact. But I think as well, despite the fact that they've got 13 rounds, their cash is not that great. That could also come into play a little bit, that they don't want to sacrifice too much. But I think when you're so far ahead, like, surely the risk of an eco and a 12-3 half instead of 13-2 or whatever, it is an interesting choice. Nonetheless, 4-on-3, I feel this would be a save round usually, but of course the final round of the first half. They are very late to rotate in. So easy pickings for forZe in terms of the spots that they choose to move towards. Still, those low HP bars dotted in, only the 1 Molotov. It's going to be tough, but, well, the previous round proves stranger things have indeed happened.
Well, hopefully we are coming back to some normalcy, but Mutiris and Rome would still like to have a word with me about that as they start to move forward. Very difficult to actually get onto the side because of Almazer's positioning, as he gets one and in the fadeaway can't do any more. And this is where Roman will also go down. The first half didn't quite go too well for forZe. I'm not sure what they're going to do about the second. Let's find out after a break. And we are back after a bit of a quicker first half than what we expected. Short rounds, short affairs, and short gasps of breath again and again from us as somehow or the other Saw keeps on doing the impossible, winning round after round after round. And forZe are now down 2-13. Scriv is with me on the microphone to explain how forZe is going to come back. And yes, Scriv, you are the one who's going to do that, not me.
Okay, so they need to win the pistol. Check, right? That's your first box.
Yeah.
First 3 rifle rounds, with the first 2 being clean. Don't lose to just USPs and a P250. Lol. Make sure you're keeping your economy sound on the CT side, right? Not just winning with like a 1 or 2 player surviving kind of scenario. You need 3 or 4, maybe even more than that, to be honest.
Oh.
And some nice headshots as well to go alongside. Yeah, that's a very, very good start from Kenzie. That's box number 1 ticked.
And look, one thing we have to say is forZe have shown an uncanny propensity of being able to bring back impossible seeming scorelines. So maybe this is another one of those as Kenzie peeks out, but Arky intercepts. Meanwhile, Almazer keeps the numbers advantage going, but Saw might be thinking of rotating back towards that A bomb site. The prospect seems mighty juicy for now, but they will at the very least delay and force the CTs to reconsider that B side stack-ish. No one has armor though on the T side over here.
Yeah, so much utility, right? It kind of makes it deadly. You got to be careful through the smoke that you don't just get melted from something like this. Almaze is so damn close there, not quite able to get it. Jerry with a quick boost does find one. Stododo up close on the Glock as well, destroyed as Flit just walks all over them. He wants to defuse. But no, Almaze are, of course, on the kit. That away. So there you go. Box number 2 ticked. All right. There's a lot more work to do, but still, it's the first step of many in the minds of forZe.
Indeed. Now, the one place which is a slight issue is the fact that you still do let Saw get the bomb plant down, despite them having 3 plays, not having any Kevlar, etc. Can see that first shot in the reposition to go for the second in itself is beautiful, which allows Elmazar to get it. But now Stododo, who gets very aggressive early on, is forced to smoke himself off, peek out, see what he can find, and when he finds nothing, he will back off. Unfortunately, he's also lost most of his HP, and Muters has, he's been granted his turn on the AK.
Yeah, thank you very much. So he says, this is a worrying kind of round, isn't it? That pressure that we always talk about. He's going to be on here, Zorti, with his first sortie. Wow. There you go. Nice little find from him, but Kenzie messing it up ever so slightly with an over-aggressive swing. A lot of damage done here, but the 4-on-4, it's hard to call. MP9 does even more damage. Not looking too good here. More MP9 action on either side of the equation. That's the bomb, though, dropped in such an awkward spot.
They're able to recover it, and now the B bomb side is completely empty, but Zorte and Flit have M4s, and what a shot from Zorte. Beautifully done. Intercepts Dodo there, and as Just will wait, he's got a Galil, sure, but that's not doing much against the M4, which will be wide swinging him. Arky, just an MP9 to work with, and Flit is on full HP, armor, and kit. So now he's switched back to the Deagle to see what he can find instead. It's a bold play to go for, but if he can start to push through, if he can get 1, he can get 2! Arky, what a save on the round over there. Beautiful stuff from the man himself. What a game he's had so far, and he just follows up. Ooh, 1, ooh, 2.
Yeah, I don't know, bro. The like skin sacrifice at the start of the game or whatever to the shrine of Gabe really making a difference. Like, it again is so well played. Don't get me wrong, but these crazy, insane rounds that Saw are sometimes getting away with, sometimes pulling off by their own volition, right? I think there is a bit of a difference. It's just insane, and forZe again will be so down in the dumps after a round like that. Very, very rough. Very awkward to deal with. And honestly, I thought after the kill onto Just, it was a nice idea from him and everything I was thinking, right? Doesn't pull it off. I thought that was it. No, not the case. Every round, you can clearly see from the scoreline, Saw looking very, very good.
Four players stacked on the A-bomb side from forZe. And 50 seconds with the Deagles, that's always... it's just one of those gambles that you go for now. Hopefully, Elmazar can find a couple of kills is what is in forZe's head. But as they're peeking outwards, Elmazar just isn't good for it. That's twice in a row now that we've seen a player from forZe not being able to deliver from that particular angle. But now, maybe the 5-7 can make up for it. Good initial shot, but... can't get the kill, and guess what? The bomb's an A.
The old classic. I go A, you go B. But, of course, backed up by most of the team. It's a well-sold fake, to be honest. Not
I go A, you go B is sort of like sums up Counter-Strike now.
I mean, you know, it's like the matchmaking one, isn't it? You know what I mean? Where it's like an eco round. You know,
yeah, of course.
See it from time to time. But I think they're just in their heads, bro. Like it's that kind of round, of course, where you are going to play things a little looser, a little more proactively to try and get ahead of the curve, so to speak. But Saw recognize that, and they're not really letting up with the mind games. Flick going to go down to the bomb. Not the end of the world, but it would have been nice to take his Deagle into the next round. I think it might be all but over. maybe they can hold on for a few more rounds. But if we're being real, folks, 12 in a row for any caliber of team is nuts.
It's probably not happening. But hey, you know, maybe there's hope. Maybe we're gonna see a barrage of utility chucked over towards the B bomb site early on. Fortunately for forZe, they have not chosen to get aggressive over there. Instead, they're taking duels in second mid, and they're losing duels in second mid. Lose out the first player. Almazr is the one to pick up one, but can't follow up because of the lack of bullets. And just with the help of a Molotov, which he didn't really need too much, will get another. I think this. I think you're right, Srev. I think this might be close to. And this clock might have wound itself up a bit too much.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to watch after such an exciting series. And look, there's been some exciting rounds in isolation. That would have been it. That would have been it if he'd have landed one there, you know, suddenly with the deagle shot on the other side of the map. But all the same, it's a bit of a shame, isn't it? Of a CS fan kind of perspective. Maybe if you're a fan of sAw, you know, you're over the moon right now. But yeah, it is somewhat of a shame, and that kind of sAw dominance in this matchup seems to continue.
Well, it's a 1v3 right now. Maybe Zorte can pull this one out, and indeed, unless he can go forward, find the head, gets one. This could be more, but Muterus will take everything away from him, and that'll be it. sAw are able to come through 2-1, even Dust2 looking like they had a chance, but